Andor puts the war in Star Wars. Hey everyone, welcome back to another Andor-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And we are back with Andor Season 2, Episode 8, Who Are You? And Episode 9, Welcome to the Rebellion. Yep. You were waiting on that one.
I did it.
You finally did it. You're all excited. You're all like, I saw your arm all the way over. You were smiling like 315 episodes in. You finally got it, Drew. Good job.
Okay, chill.
Get out.
You already wasted it on that? Oh, okay.
And I accidentally pushed the button.
Yeah, two of them. You still got room for improvement.
Okay, chill.
What's that line from Room for Improvement? Is that a Dooku line from like season 2 of Clone Wars or something like that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so we have our episode 7 breakdown up. It's live. And sorry for people who watch on YouTube for that, because I was having issues exporting my video for that. I don't know what the problem was. So it took me like 3 tries to like upload it.
Oh, really?
So that's why it was supposed to come out at 10:15 this morning on YouTube, but got delayed like 4 or 5 hours, whatever. But it's up, so go check that out. People on Spotify are watching already. We're getting a lot of views on these reviews or breakdowns or whatever. So tell your friends, family, coworkers, people on the bus. Check out Empire Radio and our breakdowns, because we're almost done. This will be 3/4 of the way done of the season already tonight. So last weekend is done, and no more Andor forever and ever. And so
next week, the last week.
Yeah. What'd you think it was?
For some reason, I thought there's 2 more weeks.
We just talked about how in 2 weeks you're going to Japan and we're off. So
yeah, we did just talk about that. So Andrew, if you're listening, you got to be on the last week.
He's not listening.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna text him right now.
You gotta screenshot us recording live and send a little video like, hey, we're here, blah blah blah. But yes, so go check that out. And tonight will be a doozy because there's a lot to talk about. I feel like even though like the first episode 8 tonight is like the most intense episode, it is still a shorter episode and it's very simple in what happens. So I feel like we're gonna go through episode 8 pretty quick. Episode 9, so much is going on, a million things all at one time. Hard to keep track of. I don't know how I was gonna do my notes, so we're gonna kind of wing that. But yeah, so
these last 2 episodes were the best Star Wars I think we've gotten so far. In the Andor show.
Oh yeah, no one's doubting that.
Dude, but it's so good.
You already jumped into it, so I didn't even get to ask you. So overall
You're
thoughts.
About to.
Well, you jumping the gun.
I've been waiting all day. Dude, it's so good, bro. And sad. And what's sad is that we're not going to see the speech.
Yep, I was kind of disappointed by that. But
like, not even a little.
Whatever. They referenced the speech, so if you don't know what we're talking about because you never watched the animated shows, go check out Star Wars Rebels, type in Mon Mothma's speech, and you'll get it. And so you hear that speech when
we didn't even see the ship. I thought we were going to see her get on the Ghost.
No, because that was a whole mission of like them recovering her from the ship got attacked by the Empire because they got tracked down. And so I don't know.
So like up to this point, we didn't know that Andor helped her get out, right?
Right.
So that was pretty cool. That he was the one that actually like helped her escape.
Yeah.
It went from like 0 to 100, bro. Like
and that's the beginning not of episode 9 or the second episode. Which one are you talking about?
The second one when she escaped. No, that was the 9, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I watched it back to back, so it's kind of one big long episode for me. So it's kind of. Yeah, it was just like 0 to 100. Like all of a sudden, Andor's shooting people, and she's like, "Wait, what are we doing?" Like she was like sad that people were dying, and then she was like about to get killed, and yeah, it was so good. It was really good. What did you like it besides the?
Yeah, it was some of the best Star Wars of all time, and everyone else on the internet is saying the same thing, that these 3 episodes might be the one of, if not the best thing ever in all of Star Wars. And I know as of this afternoon, episode 8, Who Are You, was ranked with a 9.9 on IMDb. And if you scroll down, if you type, you can't, I don't know how to find it on the website itself, but if you like Google search highest rated TV show episodes, as it'll go to the IMDb with like a ranking of episodes on the rankings. And as of this afternoon, episode 8 was number 14 of all TV show episodes of all time.
Whoa!
But like the thing is, like 3 or 4 of the episodes above them are like some like show from India or something like that.
Oh,
So it's like,
there's a lot of people.
I understand. I'm not saying that they don't deserve
The
to be on the list,
population.
but I'm saying like, you know, as far as like American shows and like a much, I don't know, India is super huge, so it's like
It's the people
they have
that are
they have more
voting.
audience than we do here in the West, it seems like. But like, you take those off, like there's like a few Breaking Bad episodes and like an anime show. You had Avatar: The Last Airbender, like part 4 of the finale or something like that, like
Oh,
which
wow.
is deservingly so on that list.
That's fair.
But like,
Is the season 7 on there of Clone Wars?
it used to be like 3 of those last 4 episodes was on like the top 20 for like a year or something like that.
That's cool.
But
Didn't the
so
original Andor go up there too? At some one of the
no, I
like
don't think
I
so.
Can't Swim one, wasn't that up there? I swear I thought it was.
I don't think it was that high.
Bro, that one
There's
was.
because there's so many
Oh.
like 9.9s and there's some 10s. Like
Mhm.
you have to have like almost universal like praise for like thinking it's perfect in order to be up there. So like the fact that this is the only like the highest rated Star Wars episode and it's up there with everything
Episode
else.
8 was.
Yes, and so episode 9 was like 9.8. So that's like still a major drop down. I didn't look for it on the list, but
That's crazy because I feel like 9 was. But 8, that trap was intense.
I honestly I think episode 9 was better than episode 8.
Me too. Actually, I do too. But I don't know though.
I know though because there was more plot that was happening in episode 9 than
Yeah.
8. Yes, but it was one specific event that we're watching, whereas like 9, it's like we don't know what's
Yeah.
going to happen. We know Mon Mothma gets rescued, but like how does that play out? We get to see her speech, listen to her speech in the Senate.
Yeah.
It would have been better if Palpatine was there.
It would have been better if Palp was there, and it would have been better if what's his name was the original actor. I think because
Yeah, it is what
it took me out of it.
They set him up last week so that when we see him this week, we weren't going to care. So I didn't care, but apparently you did.
Yeah, I didn't care last week because it was dark.
I don't understand your dark thing.
I don't know.
He looks exactly the same whether he's in the light or not. It's like you're not trying to hide anything with the dark.
Oh,
And
it just
so-
feels better. But yeah,
So
he should have put on 10 pounds before he took this.
well, you should have lifted some weights. Like
Or
Jimmy
yeah.
Smith is a big guy. Like,
That's what I'm saying. This guy's scrawny.
but whatever.
I guess at this point of the war, he was bulimic or something. He was stressed.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't eating because he was so
Oh, okay.
stressed.
But yeah, so a lot of people are liking this, and I just
I
wonder, like, if this is gonna like go down in Star Wars history as like maintaining this level of like enjoy, like how much people love it, or if it's gonna like people are gonna forget about it. I don't know, because like I think like movies and shows and stuff, like there's huge hype like when things first come out,
Yeah.
but then with time, like people just forget about it. So like I wonder like if this is gonna like maintain that high level in the general fandom, but I don't know.
It's hard to tell. think we'll know next week.
And I don't know if there's any other general thoughts you have before we go in scene by scene type of thing.
Well, I have a question for you, but I feel like we can break it down and I can ask you that question. So let's just go into it.
Okay.
It's
All
about
right.
your homeboy. I want to know how you feel about it, but we'll get to there. We'll get
All
there.
right. Keep talking along. You're getting quiet again, Drew.
We'll get there.
Okay. So we're back on Gorman and Palma. We get starts out with us like a city view, which I feel like that Imperial building was way bigger from that view than it was when it was on the ground. Ground
But
view.
it looked bigger when they were building it last week.
No, I thought
So
it wasn't that tall. Like this thing was like towering way above the city. Like I was kind of confused. Like what city is this? Like it didn't look.
Well, remember though, last week was a year prior and it was only halfway built.
No, I know, but we saw it the first episode 7.
Oh, I don't remember seeing it.
And like it just seemed like it wasn't that big.
Also felt like it felt more Frenchy, like the buildings.
Frenchy.
Like when they went through and they were flying over the whole city, it really looked like you were in France. Like very much so.
I guess.
You know what they're going for in this planet.
Even though it is the location like last week when we saw like the view of the city, like the Star City, like from the mountain range.
Mhm.
Like that's an actual like city in Italy. Like there's like you can do a comparative like location of like. So that was kind of
Do you
interesting.
know where it is in Italy?
No.
Dang it.
Italy is all the same to me. I don't know. It's just Italy is Italy.
Well, it's probably northern Italy if there's mountains. So it's
No
probably by
clue.
the Alps.
No
Which
clue.
could be Turin, which I've been
Alps. Isn't that like the Alps are in Italy?
like on the border.
Oh, I thought that was like
But Italy is
France and northern.
Yeah, but Italy is close to France.
But they're still like
Italy
hundreds
is.
of miles away from like coast to coast, from the Mediterranean to like the northern coast of Europe. I don't know. I've never
I took a
been.
train from northern Italy to France. So they're close enough where I took a train.
How long was the? Yeah, but if they're just the northern part of Italy compared to the southern part of France, that's shorter than the opposite directions. That's what I'm saying. I thought the Alps were northern France. That's coastal area, but I don't know.
I could be wrong, but I think it's actually.
If you're from Europe, let us know. Where are the Alps? We're not going to Google it. We're just
I
going to.
took the train through the Alps, and I started in Italy, so I would assume that's how that worked. But
Or did you just think they're the Alps when they
I
weren't?
knew they're the Alps because they said it on the train.
In a different language. They could have just been.
It was in English and in French and
okay.
Italian. They did all three. Okay.
Okay. So we're back in Cassian's hotel room, and he's just putting his sniper together.
And it's not the same sniper.
I didn't look, but the sniper that he had in Rogue One was like very customizable. I felt like he could like.
Yeah, but this one was his gun. Which was really cool.
That is true, but I don't know if that was the same for the other one. I don't know. I never looked it up, but it's early morning.
Pretty cool.
It's early morning, and then they're just told take down the barricades and barricade like the Imperial building and let everybody into the plaza. It's open, and we go to Dedra. She's just waiting at the video call thing, and Partagraz gets on and just talking. And basically everything is a go. There are no alternatives, no other places we can mine, there's no synthetic options. Like this is our only option. Time's up. We're getting it done. And she's like, there's mining rigs that have landed. Like, this is not good. Like, they're already here. Like, what are we doing? Like, is this really a story that we want to have? And Parker is like, well, rumors and stories don't matter anymore. It's just about aggression. And agitation. Like, we need war, basically. And this whole episode, Dedra is like on edge. She seems conflicted, and this is like where it starts. Is like, what are we doing? Like, something. This isn't kind of like how I thought it was going to play out, type of thing. And so news gets out that all the barricades are taken down, and our rebel group, they're getting all their weapons, they're strapping up, as the kids would say, and they're just getting ready to go. And so then everyone in the area just starts flooding the plaza, and news reporters are there telling what's going on, and we get a flash to Cyril's mother watching the news on this, and she's very like focused and somber. She's not like her normal self. And we go to Cyril, and he's in his living quarter area apartment thing, and some Imperial officer comes. Hey, all the comms are down. You got to report into the office. Blah blah blah. We're doing word of mouth, so it's like, obviously, so no one can hear the chatter on Imperial frequencies. So everything's word of mouth. Yeah. So where's your head right now? Like, in watching this episode, what are you thinking? Because this whole episode, there was times when I think I was like shaking a little bit, like so nervous about what was going to
This
go down.
episode was intense, bro.
But at this point, first like 5 minutes in, people start flooding the plaza. What are you?
I mean, I knew it was going to be a trap. I think when I start getting intense is when Cyril confronts her, is when it really gets intense really quickly.
So right now you're just kind of watching. You're not.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in. Don't worry, I'm in. I really love this episode. And the more I think about it, I do like it a lot. I think I like it equally as the next one.
Okay.
Like, they're both a 10 out of 10 for me, dude.
So as everyone's flooding into the plaza, Rylands and Enza are talking, and Rylands is like, "This is a trap. This is not good. Why can't you see it?" And Enza's like, "Well, this is our time. This is our moment. We gotta seize the day." And Rylands is like, they're gonna silence us because we're all gonna be dead. Like, this is not good. So he runs off. More of the city's coming in, and we see Cyril walking through the streets with everybody, and Ryland sees him walking and grabs him and like brings him to his side. Or does he grab Cyril, or does Cyril grab him? I forget.
I don't remember.
But either way, they get pulled off to the side and they're arguing, and Rylands is like, you did this.
No, he grabs Cyril.
Okay, he's like, you did this. Like, I can't believe we trusted you. And Cyril's like, what are you talking about? Blah blah blah. And he's like, there's mining equipment in nearby. Like, this got dropped overnight. Like, and Cyril's like, those are rumors. And Rylands is just yelling at him like, is that what you really believe? You're really gonna believe that? Like, you can't be serious right now. Like, what is here? Why are they? What is in our ground? What are you guys gonna steal from us? Open your eyes. And Cyril gets all mad and throws Rylands into the street. I was like, oh dang, calm down, Cyril. But so that's happening, and back and forth. It's kind of hard to, like, every minute is switching scenes. So like, there's a scene where like Kaido, the guy that's like there with the scar, who's like in charge of like causing the chaos, he's just talking with Dedra. Like, there's another thing, like, they're just checking back with Dedra. They're like, just talking about what's going down. And obviously Dedra, she's super conflicted. And we go up to the hotel with Cassian, and he's this basically like goes to the bellhop guy, and he's like, I'm checking out. I'm probably not going to return. Blah blah blah. And the bellhop is like, we never reported you. Nobody knows you're here. All that jazz. And he kind of just tells, what's his face to like stay safe or whatever. And he's like, well, rebellions are built on hope. So is that? Well, so I'm trying to think. Now we gotta go back. Like, who says that first in Rogue One? Is it Cassian says that?
Yeah.
He's the first one that says that.
Yep.
In that movie.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean he got that then from this guy?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's very interesting.
Thought it was pretty cool.
And so Cassian, he leaves the hotel. He's looking around. He's trying to like scout things, trying to find people. And him and Cyril pass each other on the steps.
Like by inches, bro.
Like Cassian turned his face away right as he walked by. And it's like, I wonder how much things would have played out differently if Cyril saw Andor and like, I got him, guys. This is the agitator that he thinks he's looking for, type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was going to happen there, and it didn't happen. But that would have been too easy.
Literally by inches.
Yep. And so then, Cassian, he's still scouting, looking around, and he sees Dedra up on the balcony. Finally sees her. And so now he knows, there she is. Like, this is my opportunity. I gotta like find a good spot. I gotta keep my eye up there, basically, and it's a go type of thing. And Cyril, he gets to the workplace, and he gets motioned in by one of the guards further in. It's like, oh yeah, he's with us, type of thing. But as he's walking in, he's listening to one of the reporters, Imperial reporters, who's spinning the story, like painting that the crowd is instigating a conflict right here. And Cyril's like, that's not happening at all. Like, you could tell he's like, that doesn't make sense. Why is he saying that? That's not true. And so he gets inside, and like one of the ISB officers is like, you can't go upstairs. You got to wait. We got to make sure everyone's safe right now. So here's a holding room over here for employees until we can get to go for people to go to their offices or move up around the building. So he goes in there, and we see 6 KX droids. I didn't know they're called KX droids. I thought they're
called K2 droids.
Yeah, I don't know. So I don't know how K2SO gets that name then. Like,
yeah, because I think that's a new thing they changed.
I don't know if that, because droids are named before. They wouldn't have changed the name for like.
I don't know. I always thought they were called K2 droids.
K2.
Because they're called. What are they called? KX droids?
KX droids.
I typed in KX, and the first thing pops up is.
That's a KX series security droid, is what it's on Wikipedia. But I don't know. It's kind of weird that I didn't know that, but I never looked it up before because it was just K2SO. So I thought it was a K2, okay, R2 unit or something, but I guess not. So, but we learned that, and so there's a room of 6 of them in there. I'm like, oh crap, these guys are gonna come and play in pretty soon. But one of them, like, they all look at him when he comes in, and then all but one turns back down to like a neutral position. It's like, I'm assuming that one was K2SO. We don't know. We'll never know. They don't have markings because they're all the same. But I really like, I don't know if they did this with like K2SO in Rogue One, but like the like eye movement, like the way he it looked like he had eyelids, kind of like with the way the lights changed when he looked up and down. Cassian. I don't know if they did that in Rogue One or not with K2SO, but the emotion,
I think they did, but
the
maybe not.
emoting from just the eyes
Mhm.
in this K2 droid was very interesting. I noticed it right away.
They also didn't talk.
Right.
So I don't know if they just don't talk and K2SO is the only one that talks.
Did the ones that arrested Cassian in season 1, did they talk? Like,
I don't remember.
like you're under arrest or comply or something. I don't know. I can't. That, and I also don't remember like in Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor if they talked either. I can't remember. So,
But they're beasts, bro.
and well, this is like, yeah, we see him in like Jedi Fallen Order, but like this is like the first time we actually see him in action of like what they can actually do. So that was pretty cool. We'll get to there, but and so as we were saying, the plaza keeps getting filled up with more and more people, and then they eventually tell them to close the exits. And so all the stairways out of the plaza, they get blocked by stormtroopers and other troopers. And so I'm like, oh, dang, they're all boxed in. They can't get out. This is bad.
And they're all singing this song.
Oh, yep, that's next. But before they start singing the song, that squad of, fresh troopers that don't know what they're doing. They're troopers in training or whatever. Like they're commanded to go out to the memorial and like secure the area. Just like that small. Like, I don't know what they're trying to do. Like even like that commanding officer, like, why are you sending us out there? And that Kaidu guy is like, you have an Imperial uniform on. You're gonna do what you're told. I'm like, okay, but like,
You called this.
Yep. And so I don't know. Like obviously, it was just to use them as bait and like to sacrifice them. But like, what were they supposed to do when they got to Memorial? Like, I don't know. But they're sent out, and that's when the one guy starts singing like kind of like a national anthem type thing, but much shorter. Just like a folk song of the land type of thing, of just celebrating who they are as the Gore. And so I thought this was gonna like change the dynamics of what was happening, because everybody was getting angry and yelling, they're chanting the whole time, and then he starts singing a song. Because like last episode, he's like, who are we? We're the Gore. Like, if you take that away from us, who are we fighting for or against or whatever? So it's like, so I thought by him singing the song and everyone joining in, I thought that was going to cause everyone to calm down, and they weren't going to be so aggressive, and then they were going to have to like change, the Empire was going to have to change their tactics of like entice them back on
More,
but that never happened, which is so like I was like, okay, but they're singing a song, kind of a banger. And
it slaps.
Finally Cyril gets released from the holding room. It goes up and confronts Dedra, and it's like, what are you doing here? Like, what is going on? Tell me the truth, bro. Like, this was so intense. Like,
it was brutal, bro.
Like, I don't know how to feel about this scene, because it's like,
I don't either. That's why I wanted to ask you about.
Because like, one, screw the Empire. Like, I'm Cyril's side. Like, yeah, he figures it out that they're lying, and he was lied to, and he's like confronting Dedra. But then it's also like,
then he like abuses her.
Then he like chokes her, and she's like in pain, and she's like, I'm like, now this is like, like almost like a domestic abuse thing.
Yes, it was.
But like,
it like made you. It was so many emotions.
But it's like,
in the
we would label that as a domestic abuse type of thing.
Yep.
But literally, we're cheering on the Gorman out there to like kill all the stormtroopers, and like when they're fighting against them,
it really messes up your.
So it's like,
bro. That's what I'm saying. It's like weird, because it's like at one point you're like, yes for him, and then he starts choking her, and then my insides were like, "Whoa, you're abusive!" Like, so, like, at what, like, before he got to that point in the conversation, I was like, "Oh heck yeah, he's actually turning good. I might actually like him." And then he chokes her, and I was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! I can't get behind this guy now." Like it, like, and then she's like, and then he lets her go. He's like, "We'll get out of here. We'll be in love or whatever." And so it's like, but you're gonna forever know that he choked you.
I
And
don't
so
know. It's
like
just
that relationship's broken.
oh, he did break up with her right there. He's like, good luck, Dedra. But it's like
But
it's just that thing like you're wanting the Gorman to fight off and
it
kill the
was
storm like troopers and stuff and fight.
it was so
But
confusing
when
for
he
my
does
body.
that, it's like, is that really worse than what they're doing? Because they're both confronting the same immoral thing. Is that's a one-on-one thing, whereas it's like a crowd versus a crowd, like a
Well,
crowd versus like a group of soldiers. But it's like,
I feel like I don't know. That's what I wanted to ask you about
so
because
it's
it's
like,
super confusing.
and
Because
I
it's
think
like
it's supposed to be because
you're
war doesn't
supposed to,
make sense, but like it's
yeah,
also, I don't know.
because you're like rooting for these good guys to fight this war, but then you're rooting for him to be good, and he knows he screwed up and like he was fighting on the wrong side essentially. But then he starts choking a girl, and then now your morals are like, whoa, 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 what? So like up to that point, I'm like, I can't get behind him, and then he makes it better for me, and I'm like, okay, and then I won't get behind you when he keeps going
I
like
don't
that.
know, but that's definitely, if you're listening, put in the comments like, how did you feel when you watched this scene? Like, were you conflicted? Were you like team
I,
Dedra? Were you team Ciro? Like in that moment, like how do you navigate that? Let us know. It's a very interesting thing. Send in a voicemail. Like we'd love to
it's
hear from you.
supposed to be confusing, I think.
But yes, morals are a difficult thing in the world, and so I don't know. I don't know. There's nothing else much to say. We said it, so we might as well move on.
I don't know how to.
But yeah, so like I said, he ends with just saying like, "We're done," because she confesses the true thing, and so he's just super disgusted by hearing the truth. That one, he was betrayed, but also like he can't believe what's about to happen to these people because she says we need to take the planet,
Yep.
implying that they're looking for the planet itself. They don't care about the people, and so he was completely disgusted by that. And he leaves, and he just says, "Good luck, Dedra." Like they broke up, and so, yep. And so after this, that B squad of soldiers, they work their way out into the crowd because they had the barricades up to the memorial, and so they make their way slowly in that direction. Ciro, he leaves the building, he hops back over the barricade into the crowd. I'm like, okay. Dedra, commands the officers to like stop him before he leaves. And they're like, sorry, it's too late. And he's like, oh, you got a call from Partagrass. He's on hold right now. And so we don't actually, hear that call because it happens between scenes. But like people start pushing back at these soldiers and they're moving through the crowd. And then like some are throwing rocks and stuff. And so then it goes back to Dedra talking, or after she took the call from Paragraz, and Kaido is like, "What are your orders?" And she said, "Proceed." And so Kaido, he gets a call to snipers out there. They're up on the rooftops and
Mm-hmm.
tells them to do their thing. And what do? They start shooting the troopers themselves in the crowd to make it look like the Gorman shot
First.
first. And I was like, oh, dang. And at this point, crap hit the fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just all the troopers just start firing at will at the crowd and killing everybody. And the crowd is dispersing, running away. They're trying to fight back if they can. They had, the people that had the guns like in their trench coats type of thing. And they starts like trying to shoot back and stuff. Meanwhile, this whole time, Andor is just watching from like the side, like what's going on. And now he's like trying to like survive because he keeps looking up on the balcony to see if Dedra's up there.
He keeps trying to make a shot.
Yep. And so yeah, so that's just basically the next half hour is just nonstop war and violence, and then so it's like different things are happening. So like I'm trying to think. So at some point the K2 the KX droids are released, and he says like let them loose, and we finally get to see these guys in action because they're enforcer droids. Like their main thing is to like make people comply, to like do crowd control, I guess. And so I didn't realize they were so strong.
I know.
Like I knew
they
like
were
K2 could pick up people, but like okay, that's not terribly hard, I guess. If you're a big 8-foot tall droid, I guess it makes sense. But when that one like kicked that barricade and like wiped out 2 people, I'm like, oh dang, this is not good. And one thing that I didn't think made sense, that I think was contradictory, was like in here they're like bulletproof. They're not getting damaged by blaster shots.
Yeah.
But in Rogue One, Jyn Erso shoots that one with a single blast and kills it.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Did you know that wasn't me?" Like, yeah, I knew that. And then
that's exactly what I was thinking too.
Then he gets K2 dies in Rogue One, like he gets shot to death basically.
But he gets shot a lot.
But like but each shot hit him and did damage. But like in here, like they were like unloading on Cassian and Wilmon later on the episode, were like unloading on K2SO and wasn't taking any damage at all. So it's like I don't know.
No, I know. I felt the same. I was like, wait, hold up. They weren't that broken.
Irachi says maybe her blaster was modified. Maybe these are just the Empire, like
they get cheap.
Gave them crappy guns because they knew that they were going to get stolen in the heist. Maybe they put like weaker weapons. Maybe that could be a thing. And so normal weapons are stronger. I don't know. But I don't know.
And maybe like these ones were like the first ones, so they have better armor. And then later they're not as strong. Maybe these ones have full Beskar.
But this should have been the same. It would have been the same armor that K2SO because they were shooting at K2SO.
Yeah, but K2 gets hit up a lot though.
Yeah, but he also got shot 30 times or more by Cassian and Wilmon and didn't take any damage.
Bro, I don't know. I don't make the rules.
Well, maybe you should.
Well, if I would have, it would have not been like that. But that's just me. I don't know. It was that threw me out of it a little bit. I was like, okay, well, we know how K2 dies, and like Andor was unloaded like 40 clips into the dude, and he didn't even move with like his gun, which is also a sniper. We find out in the same episode, so we know it has high power.
Right.
I don't know.
But yeah, so we see though a KX droid kill Enza, which I felt bad. That was like of the civilians, that was the one that like I was most like shocked by. Because one, she was just thrown. Yeah, she was thrown really far and high, but like she like instantly died. Like I didn't.
I mean, she was yeeted, bro.
But she didn't like hit her head. She like landed on her shoulder.
No, but when she landed, you can hear it. Her back broke. Like you can hear that she cracked.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. Like instant death like that, I don't think is. If you break your back, like you don't have instant death. If you break your neck, yeah, you can die instantly.
Back,
but like,
neck,
same with like people getting like stabbed in the stomach or shot in the stomach, like they die instantly in movies and shows and stuff. I'm like, no, that's not how that works.
Well, I mean, like there's one guy who survived and he got shot in like the liver on this side or whatever, and he was still like functioning, which is why she got yeeted. And
he was like screaming about it.
Yeah. But then like later on you The first guy that got shot was like through stormtrooper armor off at an angle, and he died like instantly. So
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
the one thing in Star Wars, like people getting shot.
They pick and choose who dies first, essentially. Because
But
I mean, if you look at what's his name? Not Obi-Wan. Guy who dies from
Qui-Gon,
Maul. Qui-Gon, he gets stabbed in the chest and dies, and then what's her name from the Kenobi show got stabbed in the same spot.
no, it was not the same. She was stabbed on the side. There was no critical organ damage. Qui-Gon got stabbed right in the gut, right through his spinal cord. Like that makes
Yeah.
more sense. But I don't know. Enzo's dead. I felt really bad. And then you see Cyril in the crowd, and it goes like slow mo, and he's just like turning around, spinning around, like watching everything slow mo. His eyes are tearing up, so he's crying about what he's seeing. Like he can't believe it, so distraught about it. As this is happening, the bellhop has a grenade somehow, and like tells people by the door like get out of the way, but like he rolls it under the door, but like the door is touching the ground. I didn't get that at all when I watched it, like
Yeah.
because it kind of implied there's like a little hole on the bottom that you threw, but like that's like a good shot if he did. Like I don't know,
Yeah, I didn't.
that him rolling that under the
I
door
think
didn't
it was
make sense.
no. He should have like opened the door and just yeeted it, and I don't know. I think it was more a sense to show like he blew up like the hotel.
But
Because he only killed people in the hotel. I don't think he even killed anyone outside.
no, he killed the troopers that are outside because it rolled under the door and then the explosion was outside the door.
Oh.
And that's why there was all that smoke, because like Cassian was looking, trying to find a shot, and then the smoke covered any sight of a line of sight.
Yep.
So like, I don't know. So like, I'm assuming that guy survived, but like, I don't know. We're never gonna see him again. But he probably died if they went back in and just like shot at people. But yep. So the boom goes off, and this is when Cyril sees Cassian. And crap hit the fan really fast. Cyril goes because Cassian is about to take a shot. He's aiming, and
yes. And you think he's gonna shoot her.
And what he does, like, though, if you're really paying attention, you see Cassian exhale. And what do? You exhale and then pull your trigger.
Aim
and
small, miss small.
And so he was literally a half a second away from pulling the trigger and assassinating Dedra. And Cyril runs and tackles him. And Cassian's this whole fight is super confused because he's just wearing, Cyril's just wearing regular clothes. So he has no idea who this guy is, which we'll get to. But like, he's just fighting this random guy. He doesn't even know who he is. And I'm like, dang. Cyril can fight a little bit better than I thought he would be able to.
But he was enraged with the whole situation. Like when he speared him, I was like, "Oh no!" I totally forgot that he didn't know who he was.
Yeah,
and then like when he said that, and then I went to the next episode like after, and then I saw the name of that episode was "Who Are You" or whatever, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I should have looked at the name of it. I never read the names of the episodes. So.
I just don't know how you can do that. Like,
we went over this. Most people don't.
That's not true.
Do we need a poll again? Because like everyone in the chat, do you read the name of that title of the episode before you watch it?
Yeah, let us know. I see 5 people.
There's a decent amount of people in there right now.
So let us know when you click on an episode on Disney Plus. Nope, come on, you're always on my side. Why are you saying no? I'm telling you,
people don't do that.
But how do you do that though? I don't understand how you can.
I just see a new episode and just click. I don't pay attention. haven't watched it.
Okay, Red Buff, get out
Why
of
are you in here?
Go away, Red Buff. What are you doing?
This dude, I haven't watched it yet. Why are you listening to us break this down?
Literally one of the
we
best
love you.
things in all of Star Wars, and we're
We love
spoiling it for
you.
you.
We're not saying we don't love you, but I don't know how you would even want to listen to this.
But like, I just don't understand. Like, how do you like not read? But you look at the timestamp, like how long it is, though.
Yeah.
What you literally have to
I see
move
the
past the
yeah, but then
name.
I just look. Okay, it's a long one. It's gonna be a good one. Then I click it. I never read it.
I just don't get it. Whatever. Also, if you're listening, put in the comments. Do you listen to or do you look at the episode titles before you click? But,
Yes, comment down below.
But they're fighting, and good fights. A good fight. They're both hitting each other really hard. They got some good choreography. Like they know what they're doing. Like now, I understand that Cyril, when he was in corporate authority, he probably went through like self-defense training. Like he knew how to fight.
Yeah,
like, basic
and
stuff.
he was enraged because he just choked out his ex-girlfriend. And
I wonder if because he's working with the ISB, if he had to do like a quick like weekend training of like self-defense stuff before he could. Okay, thanks, Red Buff. You're the real MVP, as the kids would say. But yeah, they're fighting, and like Andor gets the upper hand and knocks Cassian down, but then like a grenade gets thrown or dropped or ever nearby, and so he has to like jump out of the way. They both get blown off to the side. Cassian goes for the gun, but then he starts getting shot at, so he has to like jump over the bar table or cafe table or whatever it was. And then Cyril grabs a gun and comes around the side and is aiming the gun at Cassian. And Cassian can't do anything. He's just at the mercy of Cyril. He's like, "Who are you?" Like, he doesn't understand like why this random guy that looks like a Gorman is fighting him. And this whole "who are you" is a very deep philosophical thing because one, yes, he's asking because he doesn't know, but then Cyril, he asks himself that, like, who am I? And what he's doing right now, about to kill a guy for this, is not who he is or wants to be. And
it's pretty deep. It's really deep, actually.
And so he realizes that, no, this is not who I am. I'm not a murderer. I'm not going to do this. I'm here to... I've been searching for Andor to seek justice, not revenge type of thing. And he starts putting his gun down, and he gets shot in the head. And I yelled out loud. Like, I yelled in my apartment. I couldn't believe it. I got up and like was shocked. And then the guy who shot him was Ryland's. And I was like, dang. The guy that was promoting peace more than anyone is the one who picks up a gun and shoots the guy who betrayed him. And at the end of the day, Cyril didn't betray him, really.
He didn't actually at all. And I would say he didn't betray him because he didn't know what was going on because he was lied to the whole time.
Right. And
he didn't choose to do that because of what happened the scene before it. So it's just like a bunch of really sad.
But it sucks because like he sees him fighting Cassian and about to kill Cassian. So it's like,
which is the guy who went to help them the first time.
Right. So it's like, I felt bad for Cyril. Like,
I did, but then that whole choking thing makes me... I have so many weird feelings.
But it's like...
towards his character.
He started to redeem himself. Yeah, Yuretsi says that she may or may not have cried a little when he died. And so it's like, he was redeeming himself. He was turning good. He started putting things together. And then from a certain point of view, he seems like he's an Imperial fighting Cassian. and then he decides not to kill Cassian, and then he gets shot and killed.
Because the thing is, like, for him, if he killed Cassian, then he actually still did something worth doing. Like, if he would have actually ended up killing Cassian, then he would have felt like he actually did. He was there for a reason.
Right.
So to see Cassian there made him very much so probably feel like he was doing the right thing still.
Right, but like you said, like he was so enraged by all of his emotions in the moment, he couldn't properly think things through. Like literally, I think that if he saw Cassian the day before or something, he wouldn't have acted the same way. But because he just 100%. Broke up with his girlfriend, he knows everyone here is about to die. People are dying around him. Like
literally so much stood there for like the longest, and bullets were. And what's crazy is that homegirl was up there, like, don't let him out of the building, and then he's like, he's down there.
He's already gone. Yep.
So like, she knows that he's probably dead, or is going to die because he's down there, and everyone's killing everyone down there. So then you can tell that she was like, she grabs her thing, and like kind of remembers their last moment together, which was, and Jeremiah didn't spoil anything because in that trailer, she grabbed her throat, and everyone thought it was Vader, and it wasn't.
Oh, later in the next, at the end of this episode, yeah. But I never watched that trailer, so I don't know what it was. But
she didn't get choked out by Vader. She got choked out by her boyfriend.
But
which is kind of worse.
But Dedra at this point, so Ciro's dead, but then it jumps to her like looking outside. Like I think she runs outside and is looking at things from the air. Like she's just completely shocked at what's going on. You could tell she's getting emotionally distraught, but she has to hold it together. And so then like we kind of get out of the Plaza Square, and people are kind of like in the fringes, is trying to like run away, and Wilmon and during this whole thing, Wilmon and Cassian are trying to find each other, but their comms are blocked. They're not working well. They can't communicate. But they do randomly bump into each other outside the plaza. And Cassian's like, we gotta go, we gotta get back to the ship. And Wilmon's like, no, because I forgot to mention this last episode, but there was a moment when Wilmon and Drina kind of looked at each other like, hey, how you doing? And so like, as Will has been on Gorman all these previous months, fell in love with this girl, Drina, the driver from
that boy be jumping around.
And so he's like, I can't leave. I got to find Drina. I got to make sure she's safe. Like, I'm not going. And as they're arguing about this, crowd out of an alley starts this panicking, running, stampeding out, and some guy gets yeeted, like thrown so far and into the wall, like so high up, like, oh dang. And it's a K2 droid or KX droid. And it starts chasing everyone, killing everybody. And Cassian and Will, they start running, and then they turn around, they start shooting them. And there's no damage getting taken. There's unloading on no damage. And then one of the other rebel guys T-bones K2 into the wall and cuts him in half and kills him.
And it's the guy who killed the girl in the last arc.
Right. And so...
which...
Cassian doesn't know that was him.
No.
And so... calms down, the droid's dead, calms down, like, hey, I know you, blah, blah, blah. And, like, Wilmon's like, I gotta stay, I gotta find her. I'll be fine, Cassian, you go. And they hug it out quick, and then they start running, but then Cassian's like, hey, wait, one last favor. And he looks at the droid. And then the next scene is Cassian driving away in this little, like, truck thing with the droid in the back. And so that's how he gets K2SO, is that. And so while this is happening, Drina is on the radio, opening up all open channels into the galaxy, pleading for help, telling what's happening. Now, I don't know if these have been blocked off the planet or not. I don't know if they were being jammed or not, but they thought they were being at least heard some way. So they're like opening every opening channel, radio frequency, yelling for help, telling what's happening. And this is when like Woman gets down there and like sees her and you're fine. And she's like, I need you to help me get on the radio. And so they're just like working together to do that. Cassian, he's driving away back to the ship and he's crying. Tears are going down his face. And then we get the scene with Dedra. She's alone in a room and she just starts crying and her hand shaking and she's freaking out. Like she knows what's happening was wrong. Like this is not what she signed up for. Like it seems like it implies like this episode that she was thought that there's going to be a way to avoid this. Like they were going to find another way to do the mining. They're going to find a synthetic alternative or something. And so like, and then also the way Cyril treated her like adds to it too. Like, you know, I guess you would say that if your spouse, so your girlfriend or boyfriend or someone close to you calls you out on your crap, you're going to believe them over anyone else in the galaxy. And so like Cyril freaking out on her was enough to like wake her up fully to know that what she was doing was evil. So are we going to see Dedra next arc? I don't know. Like, part of me wants to say that she's going to be on, because I think we're going to be on Edu or whatever, where Galen Erso is, where the pilot defects that has the Death Star plan / whatever. Like, part of me wants to think that she's going to be there on Edu and she's going to be like helping the pilot get away or something like that.
I think that'd be really cool if she's there, and then that's how she's the one that actually helped get the pilot out. Like she turns the last minute.
Right. And so it's like,
and without her, there would be no rebellion.
But like it's something where it's like she's not going to get caught because when Krennic goes there and confronts the scientists, like he like brings this news like there's someone that's betrayed. Like if she was on that facility and was captured, and then this wouldn't have been an issue in Rogue One. But like, so like, is she going to be there in some degree? I hope so. If not, like I don't think we're going to see her again.
Cool. But yeah, I don't know.
But it's also
she could join the rebellion.
Right. I don't know if someone like her, if they would let her in or not, but they might.
It's still early on, so like,
but if they find out who she is, like
her war crimes aren't the same as what they would be after, you know.
Right. But be like, I don't know. I kind of am hoping that after, it's like, yeah, next arc is supposed to bring you up to Rogue One, but it would be cool if like there was a part that happened like at the end of the last episode that, or maybe like a post-credit scene that took place after the Death Star destruction and get like a reflecting moment from Luthen or a reflecting moment from Dedra, like hearing what happened. Like, I don't know. We'll find out. But I don't know if they're going to do anything like that, but we'll see. And the final episode, or final scene of the episode, it's the news thing that like the day after the plaza's been cleared out, and it's just the news anchor is just talking about Imperial martyrs, that the Empire was attacked, that these Imperial troopers and stuff that died, they were martyrs from like a terrorist attack, basically, and that's just what the galaxy is spinning, and it's Cyril's mother with two of her friends watching this, and Cyril's mother's crying, and I think, yes, she was probably crying because either she found out about Cyril or she just doesn't know. But I also think that in this moment, she believes the Empire is evil. I think that, because I think that's what like we got, like especially the next episode, people listening, and this episode too, because like the leader of that squad was not happy with what they were doing. He knew what was happening was wrong. So like people are kind of like waking up to the oppression
I
of
think
the
she's
Empire.
just crying because her son died.
But I think because like, you know, the second arc last week, she's like bad mouthing to Gorman. Like I don't trust them. They're terrible. They're anti-Empire. But I think like her crying like that, I think she was
but
having.
the news is saying that like they're not talking about all the deaths on Gorman. They're talking about all the Imperial officers who died.
But I'm saying I don't think she believes it anymore.
Oh, I disagree.
Because that's what Cyril told her, that they're lying. Like these are good people. And so like I think if she found out that her son died, I think she's gonna believe her son that he was in the right, and that she believes that she's been fed lies.
I don't think we'll ever know.
Or not, but I think that's
I think she is more for Empire now than ever because she probably believes that her son was killed by these Gorman people because that's what the news is saying.
I don't know.
I think it would make more sense.
I think that the theme of this episode and next episode are is people waking up to seeing the evils of the Empire.
It would fit the theme a little bit, but
let us know in the comments, everybody. This is an episode with a lot of interpretation. Do you think Cyril's mother why is she crying? Is it only because she thinks her son is in danger / dead, or do you think she's also believes that the Empire is lying about what actually happened, and she knows that she's been deceived and that she's afraid of the Empire now? Let us know.
I don't want to give her that much credit.
There's no redemption arc for
definitely not for
there
her.
There is for Dedra and Cyril, but not for Cyril's mom, Edie.
Like I could get on the whole Cyril kind of that whole abuse thing still throws me a little bit. But like Dedra for sure I could get on her redemption arc. Cyril's mom, she's just a bad person.
Okay, family friendly word.
She's just a bad mom.
But yep, that is Who Are You? Episode 8. And so if you are confronted by genocide and you're worried about being killed by the Empire, what better way than to calm your nerves than with a cup of calf, as they say in the Star Wars universe. Calf or tea. We also get tea next episode. Bix makes some tea. So if you are a fan of coffee and or tea and you would like a great discount on some great products based out of here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, check out our ad from Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. Take a listen.
Hey everyone, Andrew here. I'm pleased to tell you that the sponsor of today's episode is Wesley Andrews Coffee and Tea. If you don't know anything about Wesley Andrews, you definitely should. They're an award-winning coffee roaster and shop in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and they make fantastic coffee. The awesome thing is that whether you live in the Twin Cities or not, you can get their coffee beans delivered straight to your door by ordering them online. They even have a subscription service that ensures you never run out of amazing coffee. If you've been looking for some new coffee to try or a way to elevate your normal coffee routine, now's your chance. Head over to wesleyandrews.cc, use the code Empire Radio, that's with a capital E and a capital R with no space at checkout, to get 15% off your first purchase of any bags of coffee or a coffee subscription. I can't think of a better deal. Get 15% off some great coffee, support a small business, and support your favorite Star Wars podcast. In the words of Emperor Palpatine, do it.
Do
it. All right. Well, moving on to episode 9, Welcome to the Rebellion. And this was also a very difficult episode to take notes on because every 30 seconds it was changing between scenes because everything was happening all at one time. Crap was hitting the fan in a different way. But we pick up the next day after the Gorman massacre. We're at the Senate building, starting to rain. and we're inside, and Bail Organa is walking through like the lobby area type of thing, outside lobby, and there's a commotion. He's like, "What's going on?" And one guy's like, "Senator Orrin is being arrested," and it's Orrin, the senator from Gorman, being arrested. He's like, "I haven't done nothing wrong. I'm allowed to be here. This is not right." And then no one's helping. He's like, "Is anyone going to help me? Anyone going to help me out here?" And no one is doing anything. And so Bale's just like distraught, like what to do. Mon Mothma comes up and says, "I have to make a statement. I have to speak to the Senate. I have to give a speech. Like this is like she's just like shocked by the numbers of people killed, and she just has to
She's
like
had enough.
had enough." And so they have this discussion where you got to do your speech, but then you got to leave right away. Like we have an exit plan set up for you to do this. And she's like, "All right, well we can get out of here, no problem." He's like, "No, you can leave. I'm staying." And she's like, not happy about that. And he's like Yavin is not ready. Like we need more time. I'm gonna stay back, stay a senator, and do what I can to buy more time to delay things because the group on Yavin is not ready. Now, after this episode, when there's the alliance is set up, then it drastically gets more people and stuff to join. But like he's like, at this time I gotta stick it out. Like you do your half, I'll do my half. And they're like, all right, cool. And so it jumps to Clea printing like an ID pass to get into the Senate for Cassian as like a member of the press type of thing. He's continuing to be what's his name? The Guja. What was his first name? Whatever. Guja. Can't remember his first name, but it's just an ID to get into the building, and like they're supposed to go through like a back way of like I don't know. It was kind of confusing. Like you can go through like a different channel, not the main entrance type of thing, and so it's kind of like just like a general pass that you don't need a lot of clearance for. And she's like, "Well, it'll be good for like the whole like rest of the year. Like it's like a yearly updated pass." And he's like, "Well, this is my last thing. I'm done after this." And Clea is like, "What does that mean? Like, what does that mean?" He's like, "I'm done. I can't do this anymore." And she's like, "Well, what is it too hard? Are you tired? Like, blah blah blah." And he's like, "No, I want to make my own decisions." And she's like, "Well, this is what this is all about. Like getting freedom, so you can make your own decisions. Like you can't give up, leave now type of thing." So, yeah. So it kind of like ends on that kind of like note of like the tension between those two. And what was mentioned earlier between Mon Mothma and Bail Organa was that there's listening devices in senators' offices, and so the next scene then is Erskine finding a recording device in Mon Mothma's office, and so he brings it out, and she smashes it right away, and she's like, "Well, you need to stay here and see if there's more recording devices. I gotta practice my speech." And he's like, "Well, just go outside to get fresh air and do your practice out there." And so he stays back to try and find more devices if there's any more in the office. And then we get this interesting scene where Mon Mothma is practicing her speech outside, and Luthen comes and talks to her, which is very interesting because he's very private. Like they want to control every situation where they talk to each other, and this is like out in the open. Like there's no context for why those two should be seeing each other, especially in the middle of the night. Like
yeah,
he knows
and he
that
doesn't even have his wig on.
I did notice that he didn't have his thing on. So it's like, did he have it later on in the episode?
No, he didn't have it on anymore. He's just like not really hiding anymore.
Right. And so we learn that Erskine was planted by Luthen, because we go back to the wedding. We see those two talking and hanging out and whatnot. And like, this is weird that like Luthen is talking to this random guy. It's what's this random scene? And so, which it never even dawned on me, even though we talked about it. Like,
I know.
never dawned on me that
I didn't even think about it at all.
That he was planted by Luthen to like, they're in. Mon Mothma is super upset, feels betrayed, and he's like, he's saved your life more than you realize or whatever. And what is that supposed to mean? Like, and she's like, who can I trust? I can't trust anyone now. But I'm guessing I can only trust you, right? And he's like, well, for tonight, yes, that's true, because he says that Bale's team, who was supposed to extract Mon Mothma after her speech, has been corrupted. And it's like, how does he know that? Like, where's his intel? One, we never got like the story of how those two got connected, as like, because Bale was never in that circle. Like, from going back to season 1, there was only 4 people in that circle.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, when did he get in? But I'm assuming it had to have been like a side thing, like maybe in that Reign of Empire book that just came out.
I think so, yeah.
There's more information in there, so it's like she kind of had like a side, not like a side hustle, but like a side resistance with Bale during all these years that Luthen never knew about until recently, I guess. And he just says basically, like, there's a line that we've been getting, like, I have friends everywhere. Like, that's kind of like the line that, when you a contact that Luthen has set up is how you can trust him. And it's like, I have my contact. He's going to pick you up right after your speech. Remember this line. I have friends everywhere. I have friends everywhere. Remember that, remember that, remember that. And so she's just like super upset because she doesn't know who to trust. She's about to like give the biggest speech of her life. She could probably be thinking she's going to die the next day or something. She doesn't know what's going to happen. So they go in opposite directions. And so, but then something to kind of like, I'm just going to like, just kind of like lump into one thing because it goes all over the place. But it's like the whole ISB like monitoring room where they're like monitoring the comms and stuff. So when she destroys the listening device, they get alerted like the thing no longer works. And so they bring in IT to like, is it on our end or is it on their end type of thing? And she's like, it's on our end. And so then they're just talking about it. The guy that's like monitoring this calls in the bald ISB guy. I forget his name. Shows a G, I think. He's like, well, no one's on duty, but like I'm on call, so I'm here. What's up? And he's like, well, this comm went down, and we're supposed to be like monitoring, the Senate members, and this just seems a little off. And so he's kind of like, whatever. So they're kind of like keeping an eye on Mon Mothma and what's going on. Throughout the episode, when she's doing her speech and stuff, they're like trying to control what's being broadcast, and they're worrying about the rumor of the speech before it happens. Like, there's supposed to be a speech coming, but like, oh, there's an agenda. Like, they can't follow it. And so they're just trying to like
control the scenario,
control the situation, not let anything get out of hand.
Yeah.
Monitor comms, all that stuff. So that's kind of happening throughout the episode as it's happening. So I'm not really going to get too much into that. Mon Mothma goes back to her office and confronts Erskine and says, how long have you been doing this? And he's like, basically right after the wedding. And she's like, you're dismissed. You're fired, basically. So kind of sucks, but we know that he's in that Rebels episode. So I wasn't really too worried about him. But the next scene then is at the Senate building again, but it's outside, and Cassian, Clea, and Luthen are all there panicking. what are we doing? What's going on? How are we gonna do this? How are we gonna get in? Erskine's like, I've been fired. Like, I don't have like the contact. I can't be around Mon Mothma anymore. But he doesn't really have any other information, so they're all kind of panicking. Like, how are we gonna pull this off? If she gets arrested, we're all going down. They're gonna find everything out, and so there's that. Then it jumps to Cloris, the driver. He's just sitting in the thing, and it's like gets a call like, "Hey, have you gotten any like contact?" And he's like, "No, I've been sitting here all night. Like, she hasn't left the building or whatever. She's still here." And ISB guy's like, "Was that like normal? Like, is it kind of I don't know. Like, she would have told me if she was gonna go home on her own or whatever." So it's kind of like quick little scene. But then we see Erskine go back into the Senate building. So apparently, like, she didn't like tell him, "Hey, cut his credentials." I guess I don't know how that works, but he gets in, and then we get this weird shot of like these three other people entering. I'm like, "Oh, are these Bales people?" And I'm like, first of all, if they want a shady person, those that lady, like the way they just like dressed her and did her hair, like,
Oh yeah, they made it so that we knew that she was sketchy.
but like it's Star Wars, you'd think like, oh, they're gonna make us think that, but it was like one of the other guys that was doing it or something. But
True, but no.
yeah, and so then those three like get together and like talk about, all right, this is the plan, blah blah blah. Cassian, he goes to check in through that back way, and the guy is like, "Oh, you're not registered, but I can't give you a station, so you just kind of have to like stand off to the side to do your reporting." And good. So he gets in. Cassian goes to that room where he's just kind of like standing off to the side, and they're kind of like watching the, kind of like the feeds from the Senate chamber or whatever. And then there's a scene. Bail meets with Mon Mothma just before they're gonna go into into the Senate and do their thing, and it's basically like, good luck, it's up to you. And she says something like, if you're brave enough to stay, I should be brave enough to leave, type of thing. And that was kind of their last words to each other. Like, all this stuff is happening super fast until like the last like half is like when it's all like nonstop action. But we found out that not a lot of people are in the Senate room chamber because it's an early morning thing, and the whole point of that is so there's not a lot of people there, so they can like control the votes, I guess, better. Because
Yeah,
like they call for a quorum, which is like the minimal amount of people you can have to like have an official like Senate meeting, and so they had enough there, and it's like, the people that showed up were the people who were faithful to the Empire. Like, they were like, the Gorman are the worst. Like, I had people from my planet that got killed in this massacre. Like, blah blah blah, and like they're just kind of like pro Empire. Everyone's painting the Gorman as terrorists, type of thing. And Bale and Mon Mothma are kind of like listening, just like rolling their eyes. Um, um, so then we go to those Bale's team, and like the lady and one guy go into like a maintenance room where there's like a hidden gun, and she tries to like, she gets on the comm and she comms into the ISB room. It's like, oh, she's the person, like she's the mole, and the other guy catches her like, who are you trying to talk to? And give me that. What is that? And so she's about to give it to him, and she grabs something and hits him and grabs the gun that he found and kills him. I'm like, oh, this is the person. And so that happens. And then we get to this awesome scene in the Senate where Bail Organa goes to address, or sorry, it was some old lady from some other planet says like, well, I'm going to yield my time to Bail Organa. And then Bail Organa comes in and he's like, well, here's some new protocols that the Emperor put in place, that a senior member of a senior Senate member can call on Article 17-252, which you can yield to another senior senator like uninterrupted time. Like there's nothing you can do to like block them, stop them. They have the freedom to give like a kind of like a filibuster type thing where they can just talk and do their thing without being forced to stop. And he's like, I yield my time. And he kind of like defends it. Like it's in a time of emergency. And Senator so-and-so just spoke and said the word emergency multiple times. And no one here like contradicted that. Like everyone like supported that. So I have the freedom to like, if we're all on board, this is an emergency, then this I can enact 17-252 and yield my time to Mon Mothma. And she gives her speech.
Yep.
And I don't know if Andrew is here. I'd ask him what was better, Luthen's speech in season 1 or this speech from Mon Mothma. And I know in the Rebels episode, like there's like a little brief like thing that they listen to that's like from when she gives that speech in the Senate. I don't know if it's like I'm assuming it's some of the same lines, but
I would
I don't know
assume so.
I don't know if they like retconned it in a sense where like they elaborated on what was said in Rebels to like make it a more fuller speech, but she kind of like gives a general like speech of like truth and importance of truth and truth and reality, and no one's having a problem. Everyone's just listening. Yeah, truth is good. Blah blah blah. And then she says that we've been lied to about Gorman, that it was murder, it was a massacre, it was genocide. And everyone starts yelling and screaming at her. And the ISB was like, shut it down, cut the feed. And like they go to like the room, like some room to like shut down the feed, but the door's locked. And the guy like the code's not working, can't get in. He calls IT and IT's like, oh, the door's locked. And he's like, well, this door hasn't been locked forever. Oh, we just fixed it. And we'll open it. Well, we can't. We brought the security key up to the security office. And you have to go up there and go. So he storms off to go get the key. And the two ladies, I didn't catch it till the second time I watched it. They like looked at each other like we did our job. So those people were like plants by Luthen.
Yep.
To like make sure that door was not accessible. And the one lady had like crazy like weird like eye contraption things on.
It was pretty cool.
So it was just cool how like Luthen had people working in IT in the Senate building, like to do stuff when he needed them. So that was kind of cool. And so the broadcast keeps going. The ISB guy is like, if we have to turn off the power to the entire building, get it done. Like we got to stop this. But so her speech is still going. It's being broadcast on TVs and
all over the galaxy.
Assuming there's space. What's that news? Like the C-SPAN, Empire Speedspan, C-SPAN. Like that was probably going off. So people around the galaxy were hearing this speech.
HoloNet,
all that stuff. And she describes monsters, describing a monster, and she says, this monster will come after every single one in this room soon enough, and that monster is Emperor Palpatine.
Yep.
Like, oh, dang. It would have been cool if she said Sheev Palpatine, Emperor Sheev Palpatine, throwing that cool first name, just to, like, so no one's confused, but I don't know. So right when she says that, that's when the power gets cut off. So she says what she had to do. Like, the rest of the speech, like, wouldn't have mattered as much, but when she said Sheev Palpatine is the...
She didn't say Sheev, Emperor Palpatine.
In my head canon, she said Sheev.
Okay, whatever. Get that out.
But she gets that out to confirm to everything that it's Palpatine's doing. It all goes back to him, and then it gets cut. So, at this point, during this whole thing, Cassian is walking through the empty Senate hallways to, like, get to her room.
And it's cool. Like, what's really cool is, like, they're, like, showing all these other people listening to the speech, and even Cassian was listening to it.
Well, it's good that you remind me of that, because who else is also hearing that is Cloris, the driver.
Yep.
And we'll get to it, but I feel like he got turned.
I think he got yeeted for no reason.
Yeah, so we'll get to that. But
I really think the same thing.
They showed him for
Poor
a
guy.
reason, and so he's because he was listening. They showed him listening, but we'll get to that. So Cassian is waiting outside the door of her room. So she finishes speech. She walks out. He starts talking to her, and she doesn't know who he is. They never met before, and she thinks he's just some schmuck that's like trying to like talk to a senator about something. He's like, I gave my speech already. I said what I needed to say. I gotta leave. Blah blah blah. And he says the line, "I have friends everywhere," and she stops. And like you can basically like, this is Luthen's guy, and he's like, we gotta get out of here. And she doesn't know if yet to believe him. He's like, I know your cousin Vel. Like, I know her. We're friends. And she said, well, anyone could say that. Well, I'm living on Yavin. Like, I know about Yavin. And then he says, I'm one of the last two survivors, Val and him, from the Aldani heist. Like, I know about it. I know Val was on Aldani and did that heist. And so it's like, he's throwing all this, spilling the beans, telling out. And so,
saying more than he was supposed to, even.
But he needed to do that to try and convince her. So they get down the elevator, the exit out to the lobby where Erskine is, and where Bale's team is also. And so he's like, just keep moving, don't stop. And so everyone out there sees her exit, and all these people, like, these are like all like B squad reporters that weren't able to get in, I guess. And so they all start rushing out to like, Senator Mossman, Senator, yeah, word, what do you want to say, blah blah blah, and they just keep going. And then the lady goes up to the Bale's like escort lady, goes and asks her like, goes, all right, Senator, we gotta go. She's like, who are you? And she realized, and Erskine is there, Cassian is in front of her, like not letting her go. And so then she whips out her gun and like threatens everyone. He's like, this is an ISB arrest, blah blah blah, and guns pointed. And then Erskine does this thing, is like, she's a rebel spy. Like, oh, she's a rebel trying to like rescue or get this, Mon Mothma, another rebel type of thing. And so that just like distracts her just enough, and then Cassian's able to shoot her. The other guy was like, I'm not part of this. I just met her. And Cassian's like, we don't got time to figure out who's who. We gotta go. Erskine's like, I'll stay. You leave. I can handle myself. And they are just kind of like trying to get out. All the troopers are being deployed. Others, like Senate security, are being deployed. They're trying to shut down the whole place, not letting anybody in or out, type of thing. Exits are getting shut down, so like they're trying to go through back ways and like all these crazy, back stairwells and stuff. And
yeah, my whole question during this whole thing is like, where the heck is Palpatine though? What is he doing?
I don't know. He's probably living at the.
It's like
Jedi
hanging
Temple.
out with Vader, playing.
Well, he's probably
Sabacc.
Because the Jedi Temple was converted into the palace, right? Imperial Palace for Palpatine. So he's probably living there.
I can just see him like yelling. Like, I always picture now like the legal version of Palpatine, like how crazy he is, So him and like Vader just playing Sabacc, and they heard this speech, and they're like, "What is going on?"
I just wish we could see him, dude.
I know.
The only chance we're gonna get to see him is next week when
I don't think we're seeing him.
I'm hoping we're gonna get a Senate is dissolved scene, because that's very relevant for Episode 4. Like, to say the Senate has been dissolved, there's no longer a problem. Like, that would be a really good because that would happen at the same time as those couple days leading up to Rogue One, so which the next arc is supposed to be. So I think we could get that, but I don't know. Yaretsi says he's dealing with Thrawn and Krennic. That could be part of it.
True.
But I feel like the Thrawn stuff would be like that third Thrawn book when Palpatine's had enough of Thrawn. I think that's more like during the finale of Rebels, which is like 6 months before. So it's like a little too early, I think, for Thrawn. But he's definitely has his eyes focused on Gorman because he's, wanting the Calkite to be extracted. So he's probably trying to oversee to some degree with Krennic that operation. But he's probably not there, though. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But they got to come up with like a book of like, what do Vader and Palpatine do like on their days off? And like, I don't know, we get the Lego vacation where like they're playing volleyball or whatever on the beach. But I don't know. We know there's like rec rooms for like Imperial officers and stuff. So like, are they playing foosball or something? I don't know. Like
Pickleball. It's all the rage right now.
Melu run ball.
Melu.
But yeah, so Mon Mothma and Cassian are just trying to get out and not get caught. And then it goes to Cloris again, and like another driver next, like, what's going on up there? Like, what's happening? And Cloris is like, I don't know. I wish I knew what was happening. And he goes and like runs, to the outer pathway of like where everyone's running from. Like, so he's running towards the Senate building, and Mon Mothma and Cassian are running the opposite direction, the same walkway. And Mon Mothma is like, that's my driver, Cloris. And Cassian, can we trust him? And she's like, no, he's an ISB plant. And I'm like, oh no, what's going to happen? And now I didn't get this. I had to ask people in the Discord, and people in the Discord were smarter than me, and they figured it out. But like, I was like, why did Mon Mothma, or why did Cassian want to know his name? And why did he yell it out and then shoot him? Like, that didn't make any sense to me. Because they're like, 100 feet away from each other. And when this kind of goes down. And so the cool people, I should probably give credit where credit is due. Who was it that said it? So it was Steven Ska, Assassination 300, and I think it was just those two. They said that if he was acting as an ISB agent in that moment, by calling out his name, that means Cassian knew who he was, as if Cassian was an ISB person.
Oh.
So it's like a short, like, moment of trust between those two, so that if Cloris was to try and shoot Mon Mothma or be a problem, like, he would have hesitated. Oh, wait, Cassian's an ally as like another ISB officer. Now, either way, if Cassian, or if Cloris was turned and was like, I'm going to help Mon Mothma rather than turn her in, like, either way, he would have been on Cassian's side to help her.
Yep.
So it's like, but Cassian doesn't know that. He sees him as a threat, and so he shoots him and kills him. And Mon Mothma is just,
it's straight up.
One just saw him kill that other lady, and now I killed this guy.
Yep.
And so they get to the limo, and they drive off. He goes off-roading, like he goes into the pond and like up straight up, and he didn't get into the proper lanes. But yeah, so they get away. Then it goes back to the ISB center, and one of the guys, like the bald guys, is standing there like, I can't believe we just failed at this, blah, blah, blah. And the guy's like, you got to call on line 3 from Colonel Yularen. And the guy's like, dang it. So I'm assuming the bald guy
Gets
yeeted, unfortunately. But
or fortunately,
or fortunately, how depends on
a certain
where
point of
you're
view.
where from a certain point of view. But then this next scene was very anticlimactic for me. We're back on
Ooh.
Yavin, and it's like new recruits are in, and they had their weapons confiscated, and it's Vel checking him in and like yelling at him, and sees a gun, grabs it, looks at it, holds it up. Whose gun is this? Hand goes up, and then he leans over. I think that's mine, and it's Melchi. So that's from season 1. That was one of his Cassian cellmates on Narkina 5 that he escaped with, and is also his buddy in Rogue One.
Why was
So
that?
I was like, oh, he just randomly like finds the rebellion himself and joins. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. And the thing is, I want to go back to that I Can't Swim episode and look at the gun that he had, because Vel looked at it like she
Like she
recognized it.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that could have been the gun that he had from Narkina 5. So when she saw that, like,
I
oh,
think it was.
this is a survivor from Narkina 5. Could this be the one that Cassian escaped with?
Yeah.
And
Well,
so
it had an emblem on it.
yeah, she like put her thumb over it. Was like,
Yeah, so it made it seem like it was that.
yep. But that's Melchi's back. I was
Yeah.
hoping it would been cool to like have him on a mission that we
Well, I
could see him
think.
with.
I mean, we might see him. We'll probably see him on the mission next week.
Maybe, yeah. So then after this, Cassian brings Mon Mothma to the safe house apartment, which it looks a little nicer in there, a little cleaned out. But they get in
Kind of
there.
empty.
Yep, everyone's there. So, um,
Luthen.
Erskine is there. Clay is there. Luthen is not there. But
Oh
then,
no, he's not.
Cassian is like, "Is he here?" And I thought that he was asking about Luthen. So, but he goes in the bedroom, and Wilmon is there. He's got an injured leg, shot up like around the knee, and Drina is there, and like, hey, I made it. I'm good to go, basically. But then Drina's like, he needs to see a real doctor. And I was thinking, oh, are they gonna bring him to the healer lady? She's gonna heal him, and then Cassian's gonna see him get healed instantly, and then like become a believer or something. But we didn't get that. But Mon Mothma talks to Cassian, and they're talking, and she's told that, oh, Cassian is not going to be bringing you to Yavin. We got another squadron from Yavin that's going to do that. Cassian, you're going to go separately. So they're just kind of doing like security things just to keep lines of delivery safe, so things can't get tracked back to Yavin. So, and she says like, oh, I got to do a speech. There's a meeting. I got to do a speech out there. I'm like, okay, that's the speech you see in Rebels. So we didn't get the live action adaptation of that. But if you've never seen Rebels, like I said earlier, just go on YouTube, type in Mon Mothma speech Rebels, and you can see that, which literally takes place like the next day. Or just watch Secret Cargo episode or season 3. So there's not a lot of spoilers in there. There's some spoilers, I think, that aren't gonna make sense, but you can go check that out where she gets the whole escape from all that stuff. So it's a good episode. But my Mothma is talking to Cassian. She's like, how can I ever thank you? And then he's just basically just make it all worth it. Like, make this rebellion win, basically. And Cassian and Wilmon, they get back to Yavin, and Wilmon gets taken off in a gurney to like get stitched up, basically. And Cassian's not too concerned. It's like, oh, it's not that bad, and he's young, he'll be fine. And says that Gold Squadron is the one that's picking up Mon Mothma, and her speech is coming up soon. Like, oh, we can go back to my place and we can listen to it, type of thing. And then Cassian's like, oh, I'll catch it later. And then he's walking away. He's like, oh, wait, by the way, there's a KX droid inside. It's all. I think I got all the pieces. And they're like, oh, really interesting. But obviously, Cassian goes straight back to his little hut in the woods to go see Bix, and she's there, and she's not like excited to see, just more relieved. And so then they embrace, and he talks like, I'm done. No more missions for me. I'm done. I'm choosing you. You are what I want. I don't want anything else. I'm done going on these crazy missions. And he's like, I'm nothing special. I have survived on luck alone, and I have used up all my luck. I am at the end. Like,
Yeah.
I can't be doing these missions anymore. I can't do it anymore. There's no more chances. And she's like, I choose you. Like, I love you. And she's like, I know, I get it. I believe it. I'm just listening. Like, cause he's just like, why aren't you saying anything? He's like, I'm just listening. Like, and she's just, I believe you. That's fine. We're good. I'm happy. Basically, blah blah blah. They go to bed. Wake up the next morning. She's not in the bed when he wakes up, and he's worried. What were you thinking at this point?
That she left?
I didn't know what, like why would she leave? Like, doesn't make any sense to me. And so now I was thinking, like, did she
OD? Like,
OD? Like, was she just like super because she was super depressed the night before? Like, did she
have another
OD
drink or
on? Did she
something?
go back to drugs or something? Or did she? Part of me wanted to think that, like, I don't know, like when she was sad the night before, I thought, like, is she sick? Like, does she have like cancer or something? I don't know. Like, I just thought,
Oh, yeah.
like something's obviously, like, something was wrong was happening. So he goes to try and find her. She's not in the house, and then he comes across a recording that she had on her datapad thing, and she's basically, Cassian, I am leaving because I believe the resistance, the rebellion needs you, and if we leave together, the rebellion's gonna fail, and I can't do that. Like, it's better. I'm choosing the rebellion. I'm not choosing you, and in order to do that, I have to leave you. I'm gonna go into hiding. And I was like, dang,
Yeah.
I didn't expect this. Like, I thought she was gonna die. And she's like, but it's fine. Once this war is over, once we win,
I'll be here for you.
we can meet up again, and we can do everything we've ever wanted to do. Basically, probably just like start a family and live their lives. And
yeah, it got really. I kind of wanted her to die because then it would have been easier.
right. And so now it's like, we know what happens.
And so this poor girl is waiting forever.
And he dies, and I'm sure she finds out pretty soon after that. Like, after the,
I wonder if we'll get an end credit thing, like after Scarif, and it's her.
It would be cool. I would be fine if it was just her being like happy where she's at. Like, I don't know, finds peace somewhere. Like,
I don't know. Sad.
I don't know. Like, who would she like? Would she maybe her and Vel are just hanging out? Like, they're just like, they both lost their loves. Like, maybe they're just roommates now somewhere on some random planet. Like, kind of like or maybe she goes back to maybe like after the war, like goes back to that farming place, the Mina Rao, because she liked it there.
I don't know. Hopefully we get some closure with her, but I have a feeling they're not going to do anything.
But I just feel bad because Cassian dies. So who knows how that's going to play out. But Cassian, then he goes out and runs and tries to like stop her before she leaves. But she's already gone. The ship's already taken off. And so while he's out there on the tarmac, like shocked, a guy comes out, hey, they fixed that KX droid. They're about to turn it on if you want to come join us. So they go back. They go in. They got like 30, 40 people, all with their weapons, pulled on this thing because he's strapped down, but they're like
I
ready for
wouldn't
him.
do anything, bro, if that thing was not programmed properly.
I don't know that those straps. Those are like that. What's that? What is it?
It's like a military strap.
Yeah, like what are those? Those are stronger than steel, but like they didn't want to. What with the goggles? I don't understand. If we got some goggles, if you want, what is that going to do?
I don't know.
I don't know what those goggles are supposed to do, but he's like, "Here's some goggles for you in case." Like, I'll just take a gun. He just goes up to some random guy with like the biggest gun. I'll take that, and he takes it from him.
Yeah.
And the guy pulls out his pistol, replace it. It was kind of funny, and I don't know. It was kind of cool how like the technician guy was like, people are always talking about, just reprogramming it. All you gotta do is reprogram it, and that's all you gotta do. He's like, no, that's not how it works. It's also about like the wiring. And it's like, if I didn't do the wiring right, then it doesn't matter. And so either it works or it doesn't work. So we'll see how it goes. And so he turns some dials, turns the power on. He's just like starting to shock and like twitch and move, and then he wakes up. He's looking at Cassian. He's like, I don't know. I just picture like, an animal is born, and the first thing it sees is like its mother type of thing. He's like wakes up and he's looking right at Cassian. Cassian's
imprints on Cassian.
Yep. And he's aiming. Oh, I apologize if I offended you for something. Like, I prefer you to put your gun down, and that's it. Like, the scene's done. Yep. That's the episode.
That's the episode. It was a weird ending, but
right. It ended on a happy note because this arc was a pretty deep, dark arc, but
Cassian instantly replaced his girlfriend.
Yep.
With his
got a dog.
Yeah.
Basically that's what it is. A dog that speaks basic. But yeah, so we were whipped through these episodes pretty quick, but like these were some of the best things in all Star Wars, and everyone's saying that. And like,
yeah.
One thing, I thought the Gorman massacre was gonna be like an entire genocide on the planet. I thought, because they said, the fleet is coming. I thought it was going to be orbital bombardments on the whole planet, and they were going to just like do an invasion and just start going from town to town, city to city, and just killing everyone.
Which they probably would have done if they didn't do that.
Right. So, but it's nice, even though we like to have our theories on what's going to happen. It's nice to see that they always do something different than we're expecting, and it works out well.
I thought that thing was so well done because it was so intense, and like you knew they're trapped in there, like they couldn't turn anywhere without people shooting at them, and the whole serial thing, like him in shocked and just standing there and shocked, and the camera kept panning around him as like shots and people are falling to their death right around him, like for a good minute. Like I thought that was so intense and so well done too. So right. I don't know. I really like both these episodes a lot, and I think they're both really well done and really intense. And I'm glad I didn't start 8 last night
because you had to go to bed.
I would not have finished. I would have fell asleep, and it wouldn't have had the same impact. So I'm glad I watched them both this morning.
Right. So
they were so good.
But I feel like, can they keep this momentum up? Can next week be just as good? But it's like,
oh yeah.
But I feel like these 3 episodes was something special where they put.
I need to watch them all in like
each arc all in one.
Yeah.
Go. Watch it like a movie. Yeah.
Because I've been watching the other ones like that, just like one go. And this is the first one where I had to take a break in between.
Right.
So I need to watch this one all in one go. Because it definitely feels like it's designed to do that, which is why we're getting these episodes like 3 at a time, because it is designed. Like, honestly, I think the whole episode thing is stupid. Like, they should have just made it one, like, here's one episode and it's all of them. Here's one episode. Like, instead of giving us 12 episodes, just cut it in half and give us 6 episodes that are this long and just do it that way. Like, what's the point? But I guess it's more for like people to like take breaks. But
Right, because not everyone has a podcast where they have to binge it right away. Like, I think that's one of the, like, we always get like a bump in views and listens and stuff, but like, I feel like, and like, thing is like, where these episodes are going live, like, once an episode has like a week has passed, like people are done and they don't want to go listen to it anymore. So it's like, it's kind of not, our numbers aren't as high as normal just because like there's so many
there's
episodes.
so much, yeah.
Like people don't have time, to watch 3 episodes a week. And so by the time they do, like they don't have time to listen to our podcast as much. So it's like, it's kind of sucky for us, but like, at least we're not doing 3. We were originally do 3 episodes a week, but this 2 is going to help us get some people
cuts
caught
it
up.
down, yeah.
But I don't know. I'm fine with it being broken up. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
because I'm happy that we get them
matter,
all at one time rather than having to wait a week.
Dude, imagine waiting. Like I get it now.
Episode
like
8.
The other ones like it was fine, but if we watched episode 8 and we had to wait a week, bro, we would have been dying, dude.
Yep.
Like straight up, like all the other episodes, I could have waited a week. It would have been fine. It would have been whatever. But this episode 8, oh, bro.
So it worked out just fine, everybody.
Yes.
They know what they're doing.
Just because of this.
Yep.
Episode 8, because I can't imagine waiting a whole week for 9.
Yep.
It's hard enough to wait a whole week for the last 3 at this point.
Yep. But final theories for next week. I think we're going to get Galen Erso. We're going to get Bodhi, the pilot. We're going to be on Edu. We're going to get the defecting. We're going to end up right at the beginning of Rogue One.
Yep.
And so, but our big theory is, will Dedra be on Edu helping the pilot escape?
I think that'd be cool.
Because
then she'll actually have a redemption arc.
Right. Because it's like she's, if she was successful on this Gorman thing, she's going to get a reward. So it's like, is she going to be, if we see her, like, is she going to have a big promotion? Is she going to be higher up on the chain of command, like, where she has more influence? Also, what's going to happen with Lonnie? Like, he's still in the ISB. Is he going to get out? Like, I don't know. I feel like we're never going to get answers to like some of these things. It's all open ended.
Or like, what's going to happen with Luthen?
That too. Like, is he going to finally get caught? Because it's kind of been moving towards that where like...
Well, like, literally we were talking about how he wasn't even wearing wigs anymore. Like...
Right.
He was just Luthen. So
the question is, are we going to get answers to all these characters?
The first episode, we're going to see certain characters like Luthen and the other girl that works with him. They're going to get caught. And they're going to have a sad death.
I hope Clea gets away. I think Luthen will give his life to let her go. Because he's old, she's young.
I think
like,
she's gonna
we don't really know their relationship. Like, does she have a last name? Like, could it be his daughter? Like, and we just never knew it. Like,
because remember, he was like convincing her to stay too at some point, wasn't she?
Yeah, but I guess her last name is Markey. So,
good old Marky Mark.
Clea Markey. So I guess there's no background.
I think she gets yeeted.
I don't know, but we'll find out next week. But anything else, Drew?
No, I don't think so.
All right, fun. Well, let's transition over to everyone's favorite time of every episode, voicemail time.
It's voicemail time.
All right. Well, we have 4 voicemails tonight.
Ooh.
4 different people. No repeats this week. So, first up, let's take a listen to Darth Fart.
Hey, Empire Radio. Darth Fart here. Just wanted to say I'm absolutely loving this season of Andor. It is so good. I just on the edge of my seat every second, even if it's a quote unquote slow, boring episode, it's still so good. And with saying that, Cyril's really growing on me. You know, season 1, I didn't care for him too much, like most people probably, besides Jeremiah. But he's grown on me since he's become more capable. But I think it's obvious he has some OCD, some other stuff like that going on. But so my question is, what do you think his weirdest quirk is? I mean, I have no idea. Maybe something like he has to count the number of cereal he puts in his bowl before he
Probably.
pours his blue milk in. I don't know. There's got to be something weird. You guys got it. May the force be with you.
All right, thank you, Darth Fart. So what is his weirdest, craziest quirk?
His hair.
His hair.
Well, you noticed it on the last episode that his hair was messed up, and so you like realized that he was stressed. So that tells me it's definitely his hair.
That's
Like
not like a crazy. There's a lot of people that like to have their hair just
yeah,
right.
but like that boy spends a good hour in front of the mirror working on it.
I don't know. Like, I don't really think he's really like all that. Like, he's like,
No,
there's people that are a lot like him where they like everything, laid out and routines and rules and stuff. Like, I'm more like him than any other character in this show. Like, and it's not as extreme. Like, I like my routines and my things, but like, I'm not like OCD like him. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure he's like OCD.
But I don't know.
But it's also kind of like you make up. You think he? I mean, with the fork, even that one time it was like a little off, and he had to pick it up and straighten it for his mom.
Yeah, well, I'll go with that one. That like, I wouldn't. I don't
For
know.
your mom, if
I
your
might
mom
have.
came over, would you do that?
No, I wouldn't even clean
You
my
wouldn't even
apartment.
made her. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like it's pretty extreme.
I don't know. I just think he's just misunderstood. But
Well, he's dead, so
he's dead.
he
R.I.P.
was misunderstood to the very end.
Oh,
Literally,
dude, it's so bad.
literally, because Andor's like, "Wait, who are you?"
He's like, yeah, who am I right now? Boom, headshot. He's dead. But probably just maybe his quirk of like being so
Love it.
obsessive, I guess.
Yeah,
Because like it was unhealthily obsessive, but like it was still him.
it was so unhealthy that he abused his girlfriend because he was so mad that he didn't know everything.
But I don't know. Okay, I don't know. That's a whole thing. But
Comment down below.
Comment down below. But yeah, but I think that's all we can really say. We've talked about him a lot, and we're done talking about him because he's dead. So
He definitely has mama issues.
they need to come out with what they need to do. They need to come out with a book.
I will
from the 2 years that he's on Gorman. Narrated by Mark
His
Thompson.
mother.
Have him do his voice.
No, they need to have like someone do his mom narrate the story.
Mark Thompson could do that.
Yeah, that's true.
He could. He's Mark Thompson's a goat. He could definitely do an Edie Karn.
I really want to know what people think of what his mom was doing at the end. Like, was she? Is it your opinion or my opinion?
Maybe I'll write a poll on here just to poll Edie. I'll just ask that in the actual poll on Spotify. Hopefully, I'll remember to put that in there. But yeah, if you're listening this far in, please answer that poll. Put in the comments on Spotify or on YouTube. Did Edie Karn, the mother, was she crying to any degree because she believes that the Empire is evil, or is she just mourning the death of her son type of thing? I say it's both, that she fully believes that the Empire is evil and that the news was lying. Drew disagrees, just crying for her son. So, Darth Fart says he's definitely got mama issues. We know that.
I read that.
Oh. All right. But thank you, Darth Fart. Next up, we have from a second-time sender. A few weeks ago, we had a first voicemail from Nasty Nate, and he's back. So let's take a listen.
Ooh.
Hello, Empire Radio. This is Nasty Nate. So, Andor is absolutely fantastic. There's so much to talk about, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave that up to you guys and your other callers. The reason I'm calling is because I actually have an idea. A couple weeks ago, Jeremiah, during your celebration announcement review, you made a comment that you were a little disappointed that there's not going to be anything this summer because you guys need ideas. So I have an idea for a top 5 that I believe you guys have never done.
Ooh.
And it's going to require a little bit of critical thinking, but I think it'll be fun. So what if you guys did top 5 minor changes that you would make that would make Star Wars better? Now, minor is the key word here, right? So we're not talking about Darth Vader surviving Return of the Jedi and he becomes Anakin Skywalker again and helps Luke raise the new era of Jedi, right? That's a little extreme. I'm talking like much smaller things that would just make the story better. For example, and this should be everybody's number 1. So I'm just going to take it off the board. You guys can't use it. Luke Skywalker throwing a lightsaber over his shoulder in The Last Jedi, right? Terrible idea. Actually, absolutely horrible for the story. That was a blooper. So anyway, just an idea. Feel free to use it or feel free to trash it. Anyway, may the force be with you.
Honestly, you should have just said you can't do anything for episode 8. Just leave that.
Well, because there's the other one that we talk about from episode 8 that we would change.
What?
About Akbar.
Akbar, but that's a pretty big thing.
But that probably wouldn't be minor because that'd be a big thing.
That's a big thing.
But it's hard to figure out like what would be minor that. Because I think he's kind of implying that it can't really change the story much. Like everything
just
else
makes
stays the
it
same.
feel better.
So like Luke, throwing a saber, if he just like dropped it or used the force to like take it apart and the parts just fell out of the ground and walked away, like
it would have a better impact, but it wouldn't
Right.
change much of the story.
So it's a good idea. We might actually consider that.
It's gonna make me think.
But it'd be hard because there's so many like minor things.
I think that'd be fun though, actually, because we'd like have certain ones and see if we have anything that we actually like
have in common.
Can't have in common certain things. Yeah, we might do that. I'm down for it. Do it, Darth Fart says.
All right, cool. Thank you, Nasty Nate. Next up, we have Yaretsi. So let's take a listen.
Hey, Empire Radio, it's Yaretsi, and wow. That's all I have to say about these last 3 episodes. Just wow. They were such an emotional roller coaster. I was trying to hide my face the whole time watching episode 8 and 9 from my family because I was crying, but that's for a later discussion if I ever get to that. But like, first of all, I did not expect them to kill Cyril until I actually started episode 8. I was really sad. My boy Cyril's gone. And I did not expect him to go off like that on Dedra or on Cassian. Like, I was like...
Cassian, yeah, but...
My jaw dropped. And then, obviously, the Mon Mothma episode, just episode 9, was so amazing. I love Genevieve O'Reilly. Such an amazing actor. And it was just so good overall. Anyway, bye.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Yaretsi. Nice to hear your thoughts. And yes, it was a very sad and emotional roller coaster. So we get it. We talked about it.
Yeah.
But
also,
I think next week should be a little bit lighter, I think. It won't be as intense, but people could die too. So, huh?
It's a finale, though.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to be as dark as this week. I don't think people could die. Main characters could die, except for Cassian and Melchi. But we'll see. And we'd love to hear your thoughts next week, too.
Yes.
All right. Next up, final one. We got the coup d'etat verse, of course. So let's take a listen to Garrett and see what's going on with him.
Hey, Empire Radio. It's Garrett. While Empress Palpatine was monologuing on how the Resistance is done for, I used the Force to speak to Ben. I told him we can no longer just sabotage the ship, we had to destroy the weapon on board. Empress Palpatine suddenly stopped talking. She felt me using the Force. She could sense that I had linked with someone else on board and began to ask me what I was doing. She told me to be very careful about my answer because if I was doing what she thought I was, she would be forced to kill me. I'm conflicted. I know I don't have nearly enough power to defeat her on my own, but I believe what the First Order are doing is wrong. Help me, Empire Radio. You're my only hope. What do I do? Speaking of being conflicted, I don't really know how I feel about Andor so far. I really like it, don't get me wrong, but I'm not sure where it's going completely. Obviously we know where it ends up, but I don't know if Bix will die or not. I think I'd be personally disappointed if this was the last we saw of her and she doesn't get killed by the Empire. I still don't see that complete resolve in Andor that we saw in Rogue One, and I think Bix dying by the Empire is the only thing that will give it to him. I am disappointed, though, that the story of him finding his sister has basically just been thrown completely away. That could have been another way that he found his resolve against the Empire. But it's all still up in the air, and there's a lot of connections that still need to be finished. We shall see what happens in the finale.
That is true. We did think that one girl.
Because I thought we saw a random girl in the.
I'm pretty sure it was Bix. So she just looked different.
Is that what it is? I was thinking
I'm
about I
pretty
gotta go back
sure.
and watch that trailer, but yeah, I could. And that's next week. It's something,
And it was in
the apartment though.
the apartment, so it had to be Bix.
So does he go back to the apartment again next?
No, I think we
week?
saw that scene. We just
I don't know. I guess maybe.
now I gotta pull it up, bro. We can't wait.
Not now. Hold on. Whatever. But anyway, Garrett. Question: what is he supposed to do with Empress Palpatine because he can't beat her? Isn't like Anakin on board? Like, you gotta be able to team up with Anakin, right? Anakin, you, and Ben Solo could take on Empress Palpatine. I think. I don't know. We'll see. Surround her, take her out. Maybe somehow the Grand Gungan Army and Boss Nass come in and they help you take her out. I don't know. There's plenty of options for you. Remember, rebellions are built on hope, so don't give up hope. Keep up the good work. And what was his question? Or did he just ask about Bix?
I don't think he asked a question.
All right. Well, anyway, sorry if we forgot your question. Sorry, but yes, Bix. We don't know what's gonna happen. I think
it's resolved. I don't really need her to die for it to change anything personally.
Right. But it's just you didn't make that comment for episode 7, how he kind of embraces Jin and they kind of have a moment. They don't kiss, but it's fairly intimate hug. But would he have done that if he knew Bix was out there waiting for him? But then it's he's also he's about to die, so it's
it's
the last person you're with. Is it just more emotional that you want that connection before you die? It's kind of what do you do? But
and we got to remember that they literally told us that this was gonna make us view Rogue One even different, and that could be one of those things where then we realize that maybe there actually weren't. It wasn't a relationship necessarily. It was more of a it was more of just them. I don't know.
Finish your thought. What are you doing?
I'm watching the trailer. I think it's more of that could be something that's changing, right? Because you realize that maybe he wasn't actually embracing her because of a boy-girl relationship kind of thing, and more of just like you said, the last person you're with, you're gonna die, and you're just gonna hug them because he knew that they did something good.
Right.
They saved the galaxy, essentially, potentially.
I don't know. Maybe it'll be the Cassian in Rogue One is actually a clone of our Cassian that we know now.
Imagine if they did that. That'd be so stupid.
Would you rage quit Star Wars forever?
I would be pissed. I would be so pissed if they're it's actually his twin brother. And he has an identical twin brother, and Cassian is actually with Bix. Imagine. Would you rage quit Star Wars?
What if
Okay. Here we
What
go.
if Bix goes out and finds his sister, and she goes back to like Yavin to like, I found your sister. Here she is, and she finds out that he died on Scarif.
Imagine.
Oh, dude,
Oh my lord.
that'd be kind of crazy.
I don't know. I mean, we could see her dying next episode, but like, I just don't think. I think it's to the point where like she left him because she knew that he was going to do something right, and this was something right that he had to do. And in the heat of the moment, and you're going through the biggest mission of your life, and there's this pretty girl who's on it with you, and you start flirting with her during this mission, and you're going through a lot together, and your girlfriend left you a year ago, so you're not tied to her necessarily because why didn't she keep fighting? Like, because he knew that she, like, I don't know, she could have convinced him to stay if she started fighting. She don't want to fight anymore either.
Right.
So I don't know.
I don't know, but we'll find out next week. But if you're new to us here at Empire Radio, or you're an old time fan and you want to get connected with us more, go in the description below, the links.co/Empire Radio, links spelled with 2. I click that landing page for everything. So, one, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this arc, so send in a voicemail, because even though we'll be played next week, we still want to hear your thoughts about anything about
For
the
sure.
show. And so get those set in. We'll be doing Tuesday late night again, and then Wednesday 2 episodes. Probably that's our plan is. So we'll play our voicemails on that final recording, and so get those sent in. But also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, join the Discord. You can talk about Andor with a bunch of cool, awesome people in our Discord, and also, as well as other Star Wars content. Talk about that. You can send us an email too if you want. We got a fan email you can send to. So yeah, follow us on YouTube, Twitch for live streams, everything. So we got everything. Get connected. Follow us everywhere. We'd love to stay connected with you. That's everything I got. Anything else, Drew? Any final thoughts?
My only thought is let us know your guy to the debate question.
The poll. If you're on Spotify,
The poll.
or if you're on YouTube or something, you can just put in the comments too what you think.
Also, let us know too where you can like felt weird about the whole cereal choking out the girl.
Yep.
Like, did it make you second guess everything in life like it did me? 'Cause I was like so for him, and then he started choking her. I was like, whoa, hold up, my God. It threw me. So it brought me back to the dark side of hating him. So let me know.
All right, cool. Well, you've been listening to another Andor-tastic episode of Empire Radio. I'm Jeremiah.
I'm Drew.
And may the Force be with you.
Always.